Hey guys, how are you? Happy Tuesday. I hope everybody's doing great. I didn't clean my glasses. Let me see. Let me make sure I'm on. One second. I see all the posts I made. Hope everybody's doing great. Oh, my hand is the cover. That's good.
Everybody's doing
Okay.
great. I didn't clean my glasses.
It's loud. So say hello if you're jumping on. I don't know if anybody can make it at noon today. Hopefully some of you can make it during your lunch break, or someone's on. Doesn't tell me who. Say hello if you're on. So today I put up, I have some pictures in here that I'm going to flash onto the screen of different paintings that you have that have barns in them, okay? And I'm going to show you how to create your own also. Hey Tracy, how are you? Is Lindsay Lou on? I didn't know if she could make it today or not. So say hello. It's nice to see you, Tracy. I was talking to Lindsay this morning and I didn't ask her. So let's see. I hope you're doing great. Did everybody have a good Easter? I had a lovely Easter. I actually got to. Hey Dana, how are you? Did everybody have a good Easter? Just home from exercise class, ready. Ah, that's awesome, Patsy. How nice. Listen, the sun is shining here. Like, it is so nice. I think we're going to have a couple of days that are 75 to 80 degrees. So I can't wait. I get to go to my son's ball game tonight. So I'm excited about that too. Beautiful day today. It is so beautiful. So I can't wait to be outside a little bit. Good Easter. Good. I'm glad. I'll be in and out. This is Nancy from Missouri. Hey Nancy, how are you? I'm glad you guys are jumping on. Susan, how are you? How's everything going? You preparing for the new baby? So exciting. Not that Susan's wife is having a baby, so it's so exciting. Yay! Lots of rain. No. I'm sure we'll get some cold weather and then the rain next. I'm sure of it. But I love when it warms up like this, you know. I finally got to go to my son's baseball game yesterday. At the beginning of the season, I missed a lot because they don't put out a schedule. They put it out right when it's starting. Never can get it ahead of time. And so all my classes are always scheduled. So I'm so excited when it comes to the point where they're in my schedule and I can go. So I get to be out in the warm weather tonight. Florida is perfect today. Hey Deb, how are you? There's Lindsay Dowd. How are you, Lindsay? Lindsay's son Lucas was home for a very brief period of time. His car was totaled where he was, and so he had 17-hour drive, Lindsay Lou. So she was praying yesterday. I was praying with her from here. So oh my goodness gracious, long drive. He had to get a new car and drive it back. So it was a long trip. But my husband and I want to get back down to Florida soon. What part are you in, Deb? We used to live in Sarasota. And so we loved it. We've been back for 18 years. My son will be 18 this month. And so we moved here when he was a baby. Moved back here outside of Pittsburgh. Let me see. All right. So I think quite a few on. We'll get started. Look, my hair is sticking up everywhere. I tried to blow it out today. I tried to do that. Okay. So 17 hours home for less than 12 hours. I'm so happy you got to see him though. I miss Katie for Easter. I have to tell you, I did have a few tears, you know, I did. I was a little. Tampa Bay and very close to Anna Maria Island. So I love it there. And my sister lives on Tampa Bay, lives on the water right there. Not far from not the Howard Franklin Bridge, but the other long bridge that goes east of there. And I'll think of the name in a minute. Hey, Lynn, how are you from Arizona? It's probably really nice there. But Anna Maria, we would be on all the time. We loved it so much. It really got built up a lot more in the last few years too, I see. But so beautiful there. Love it. So today I'm going to flash a couple things up. Okay, so these are some paintings that you have. Lindsay, can you answer if we have this filmed? I'm not sure if we have this filmed or not, if we just did it in the studio. We could have just done that in the studio. I'm not sure. But that's a barn painting. You guys have this cross painting with the barn, white barn in the background. Okay, very simple to paint that one as well. You guys have this one, which is the tree farm. I believe that was a 2-day workshop that was in there. You guys have this one, and this was probably my favorite one, I think, because of the sunset. The sunset I loved so much. And so I was going to put this in the corner here. Oops, come back here. And I was going to do a little bit of a couple different colors for you. Now, I've never painted a barn that's like, hey, Phyllis, how are you doing today? Thanks for jumping on. Oh, thanks so much, Tracy. No, we don't. Okay, I was thinking we didn't have it, Lens. Paula Weston, how are you doing, my friend? It's so nice to see all of you. Yay. So everybody else have a good Easter. But yeah, I haven't done a brown barn, just like a wood brown barn with like stain on it. And so I have that on my plate too. So we might just do that. But I'm going to show you, like, I'll start with red. I'll start with white, then we'll do red. And I'm just going to show you, like, you know, a block of the boards. Okay. And what some people do that I would change, like when I see, you know how I always say, don't do this. So we'll do that with some of them, and what to do, what not to do. Because we've painted a lot of barns in the studio. I didn't go back and grab all of them, but that was like the last 4. Okay, so I'm going to go to my easel. I just have, let me see if I need to put another light back here to backlight this a little bit. I don't know if that'll bounce off there or not, but let's see. Okay. On my plates, I have the white. Since I have that barn up, we'll do red. I have red and orange, which is what I use on the red barns. If you're not on a black canvas, I do black it out first, like behind there, okay? The first one you've shown, is that a new one you did? This one right here, Trace, I did last year in the studio. So I couldn't remember if I filmed it for you guys or not, but if that's something you like, we definitely could. It's on a wood palette, a 10 by 20. They came out beautifully in class. I was really, really pleased with those. And the wood palette, like, with that wood grain showing through, was fantastic. And, so they came out very, very nice. Let me go back here. Let me see. I love barns too. Hey, Marlene, how are you? How are you doing? Okay, so I have a little black. I thought I'd do like a brown barn, which I've never done before. I'll do a white barn, maybe low light it a little bit with steel blue, which I usually don't do that in class, but I just thought it'd be a nice addition to it. I just threw it on my plate, okay? So what I like to use is a 1/2-inch brush. I'm looking for like a softer one. Haven't been really good about drying out my brushes on the run lately. Let me grab a chalk pencil. So I'm not going to draw in a whole barn, okay? But let's just say, like, we have this, you know, this is a panel down below. Generally, what I do when I'm creating barns, for the doors and the windows, I put them in after I put all the slats in. Definitely want to do that one. Okay. So, like, if you're going to have, like, a door here, and you have your, you know, so you're going to do the X there. I do that, black it out afterwards. I'd rather not go around stuff, but if you wanted to, you could lift off and maybe brush into a little bit and then get the black into it. I just feel it's a little time consuming to go around little windows and things like that. Maybe a barn door could be, I'll just leave that one there. Could be a little easier to go around, but I like to use like a 1/2-inch brush if I can do 1/2-inch slats, okay? So I was just looking, I'm going to wet it. I'm going to dry it off, okay? And so what you're going to do is you're going to build up the colors. So I like to dry brush them. So very, very, not a lot of paint, very little paint. I'm going to start with the red. And I'm going to do just a little bit of orange to start, just to make it a little bit brighter. Because on black, it takes a little while to build up, okay? So let's push this over a little bit, make sure you can see it. So what I do is I'm going to make my slats like straight up and down, all right? Not a lot of paint, okay? Not a lot of paint. And it's gonna look really dark to start. It's when you layer it up that it really comes together. So then I'm gonna start the next slap. And I'm gonna put it pretty close to this one, but I'm gonna leave a little bit of black in between. So here's something not to do. When we see this in class, a lot of people leave a gaping amount of black in between the slats, and it shouldn't be. It should be just like, that would mean that it's like wide open right there. We just need like a little bit of a crack, okay? So I'm just gonna keep going over. We've done like big barns where, it could take a little bit of time to layer it up too. Sometimes you have to have patience. But I love that the way they come out on black canvases, they're beautiful. So I'm gonna go here, but see how close I'm putting it, okay? I'll make sure that you guys can see well. Is Leslie on? Hey, just a quick hello. I'm in Chicago with my family. I'm so glad you made it. Yay. I was thinking, I know you told me you were going. I was thinking you went over Easter. So you stayed at home and then went after Easter. That's so nice though. How's your mom doing, Leslie? Are you with her? Okay, so I'm just gonna go right next to each other. And if these get messy and you don't leave black in between, it's okay. I'll show you what to do, all right? So I'm gonna keep building this up. I'm just leaving a little bit in between, okay? Little bit. Pull this down here. Like I said, if you brush a little bit into your doorway, that's totally fine also. Doing one more plank over. And it's okay, like if you want to make it, some people make their barns look brand new. Some people like to make them look very rustic, okay? Brand new is going to be a lot brighter red, as we layer it up. You're going to have it a little bit more perfect looking. I'm going to make it look a little older. So this needs to get a little tacky dry. Hey, Cindy Wolf, how are you? I loved your Easter gnome you posted. So I'm going to let that one dry for a minute and I'll come back and I'll build that up. Okay. We're going to go over this one right here. Okay. So I'm going to go over that one next, how we have that white barn in the background. All right. So I'm going to go back to my easel. So I have to tell you that cross painting with the barn in the back has been such a popular painting. I want to see if I need to take that light off, which I think I do. But it has been such a popular painting. I want to make sure I can fit a couple barns on here. So let me just do the bottom of each one instead of. But I would like for you to see a top also, so with the small windows. But I can just show you how to put in small windows with this. But with this one, you're not going to need anything but white. We only use white and black in the painting. But I did put a little blue steel on my plate to maybe low light it a little bit. So I dried off my brush again, washed it and dried it off, okay? But we've done this cross painting. Lindsay, when did I'm so glad you enjoyed it. Donna, good morning. How are you, my friend? Hey, Gretchen, how are you? It's so nice to see you, Gretchen. I don't know when I created that. It may be last year. And we have class after class after class, like even off-site classes with churches, with nights of fellowship and things like that. And at the studio, fundraisers, all kinds of stuff with it. And I'm just using white, and you have to lift off, guys, with these strokes, okay? Some people, when they're making the barns, worry too much that these are going to be like perfect, and they really want to go in there and make everything, all these slats like perfect, but it's not necessary, because if you're using, especially if you're using the width of your brush, it makes it like so much easier. Let me slide this over so you can see. And you can clean things up really well. So I'd rather have it like not go off the canvas. I'm going to make this like my edge. Like I didn't want a half a board there. So I'll make that a little bit longer. But then you go back, this needs to dry a little also, but you go back and you start layering it up. You can turn it, on its side, use it vertically if you need to get in the crack a little bit, okay? It was a favorite thing. Guys, say right in there what was your favorite thing about your Easter. My favorite thing was sitting down in the sunroom, getting away from, I love being with my whole family, but actually getting to sit down in the sunroom with my 92-year-old grandmother and just talk to her for like an hour about everything. And I even cried. I love her so much. And so it was my favorite time of my day that that I got to do that. I don't know. A lot of times you don't get alone time with people you love, and it was really nice to have that downtime. We escaped for a little bit. So I'm just going to go and I'm going to brighten these a little bit, and then I'm going to show you how to put in a few shadows, how to put in some brighter areas. Relaxing with the boys. P.S. Any progress on the moon tree concept I sent? Actually, I have that on my list, April, and I have a really pretty good idea to get the same feel, but of course do our own painting, and I think it's going to be beautiful. You know what I loved about that painting so much? Well, everything. I think it's an extremely beautiful painting, but I love those colors. Like, those colors are gorgeous colors. Very beautiful, but it's definitely on my list. I haven't forgotten it, I promise. I promise, I promise. What's nice for us with the membership, like this time of year on, I get to create a little bit more because we don't have like classes every single day in the studio. People will start being outside, so then I'll start limiting myself to 3 days in the studio and then teaching online, and then also with the special needs. And I'm going to be working on the kits as well, but my time frees up just a little bit more this time of year. But see how I'm starting to build it up, okay? And then I'll show you how to put those like creases back in. With the red, you have to come back and do it. You have to let it dry, or you're working on other parts of the barn at that time, okay? You can always take black and go right across this top, okay, and clean it up. But you could also take a little bit of the steel blue. I've never done this on a barn, but I was just thinking it today. It would be a really good shadow on here. Or if you want to like make creases, things like that, very good shadow. It's almost like it's a gray, but a gray blue. I think of like how when you shadow mountains and things like that, that you have, use a little bit of blue in there. And so I was just thinking that today when I was pulling the paints for this. So what I would do is, I hit the white. I didn't mean to do that. So now I hit the red. Oh my gosh, I'm lifting off into my paint. So I'm going to go across here. You could just black that out, so you don't have to be so careful. I try to talk about that on the tutorials. And guys, I've switched back with the tutorials to like doing the tutorial this second time. Not during the creating this last month, so I'm sorry. I changed it back on you, and you can clean this up down here, okay, as well. All right. And then if you needed your lines back in, so very simple techniques to create barns, guys. And then I'm going to show you how I would put like a couple windows in there too. But you can always go back and get your black and shadow. Like I'm using the skinny part of the brush, maybe flick up from the bottom a little bit. You may have some shrubs in front of this, or some flowers, or maybe a little tree or something like that in front of this. But you can always take some black, back up from the bottom. But yeah, I know I went back and forth with that, but I went back to filming the second time, and I'll tell you why. Is because I found more joy, I was telling Lindsay this, in creating it with my music on, and just relaxing creating it instead of trying to think like 10 steps ahead and talk about it the whole time when I'm in the creating mode. Does that make sense? And so I decided on most of them to film it after. So it's more work, but I think it's better for you because there's nothing you have to like go around. And I'm going to show you how to fix that, guys. You can do this very loosely, and I'll show you how to fix it. But what's your thoughts on that? Did you like it better seeing it being created like for the first time, or do you like it when we know the exact direction? I'm not him hawing around. Let me know your thoughts on that. I'm gonna get a round brush or a strip liner, and then I'm gonna clean that up. Able to catch a few minutes. Hey Carrie, how are you? I did have a lot of family here for Easter. Family being together was my favorite thing for Easter. That's so awesome, Gretchen. I feel the same way. I use Still Blue a lot too. I love that. Church and dinner with my daughters and friends. Much laughter. That's so awesome. We have a lot of laughter at our get-togethers also. Like we're always carrying on and stuff. My son finally brought his girlfriend of 3 years to a holiday. It's a little bit of watered down black. So you can use your script liner if you thought you needed like thinner marks in there. Okay. Took out my black line there. A lot of times too, like you can always, not even just with that, but you can go and put like, you can make like little creases through here, you know, but I usually don't get into too much detail when I do that. I kind of slap it in there. But yeah, my son, and I think of how we all carry on so bad, like she probably thinks we're, you know, not so. Because we laugh a lot. And my dad is like a jokester and very funny. And we do carry on quite a bit. So the other thing is I generally make the barns like not perfect because I want them to be rustic, but you don't want them to be too wonky, you know. But you'll step back and take a look at this again and see what you like and what you don't like, you know, as I keep lifting off into my red. I have to learn to look down at my paint more. I'm always just like using my paint and not looking. Like once I think I know where it is, it's such a bad thing because I do this a lot anymore where I stick my lift off into another color. But yeah, guys, tell me what you do. Like I've enjoyed the last like month again, painting with music on and stuff when I'm first creating it. And I don't know if you guys are like that. Okay, so there we have like the white fence. I love texturing wood out. Susan, that was impressive. I loved it so much. That was so fantastic. I like to see your thought process behind creating a picture. I agree with that too, Lynn. So that's why I was doing that before. Like it after you finished a painting. I like it filmed. So I know it's a little bit of each. So maybe I'll just do a little bit of both. Would that work? Like if I film some while creating and film some after for the second time, if you guys, if that's what you would like. I'm gonna also put in a window here, okay? So what you do after that is you just take black paint, round brush, all right? And I have the brush with no point on it. And so if you want to put a window in here, you just go right over. And then that way you're not going around anything. You can always like put a little bit of a dry brush, a little bit of a shadow on here. I do wait for this to dry and I put a little bit of white across here also. You can put those, you know, X's in the window, or you can put, I'll show you how to put like a little white frame around this. Also, I'm gonna get a finer brush to just do the corners so it's not so rounded. But we'll let this dry and then I'm gonna show you how I highlight a window, okay? But, and sometimes you, like there's those little tiny windows too, you know? So you could always do that. But I just find it easier to do this. Like you can leave maybe a big door in, but for a window, I'd much rather like just put this in after the fact like we do in the cross with the barn painting. We have another one of those off-site this weekend too, at another church. So these aren't level because I wasn't looking at the other one, but I was gonna do a smaller one. And then I thought, I can't leave it with just like one window on there. I'm using my wonky brush just because I like to fill in with it. Okay, now we have to match it. Nuts like that. Do you guys have tons of leftovers or are you cooking again? I'm still using, I had an allergic reaction like on Friday, so I could barely eat on Easter. I was like, oh my gosh, there was gluten in something. And learned my lesson. I'm going to keep carrying my food in my purse. But it took a good 3 or 4 days to get out of my system. But we still have some leftovers from the weekend. But I'm using my air fryer all the time. I love it. Does anybody cook with that? Like, I don't know where it was my whole life. I wish I had it, you know? Because I think it's like the best thing ever. It's so fast. Wanted to be on for a bit to say hello and watch, have errands to do. Big hugs to y'all. Oh, well, I'm glad you jumped on, Dana. So nice to see you. You have a wonderful day. Hey, Valerie. I'm so glad you were able to jump on. How are you doing? How was your Easter? Your dinner with your kids, right? Both, please. Okay, Nancy, we can do that. Like both. Linda Baker. I have a picture of the Northern Lights with a shed that is falling down. That would be perfect. You could definitely do that. And I'm going to show too. And so probably like the grays and stuff. Is that what it is? It's like grays. So I'm going to start adding more layers, orange and red, onto this barn over here. Okay. So, and if you need to like turn this, my hand's kind of cocked weird. Like I would much prefer like to drop this down and go this way. Most of the time it's just easier for me to make a mark this way. But I don't know if that'll drive you crazy. But you're going to start scuffing this. And remember, don't leave like big gaping amounts in here. All right. So I actually do a couple things with this. So I'll do the red and the orange. Then I go and add a tiny bit of white to that. And then I also just dry brush some white on it as well, okay? That Northern Lights picture, I don't remember the shed, but I remember the colors in that. It's beautiful. I'll have to look at it again. But I was saying, Linda, that I put some browns on my plate too to do like something tan, which I've never, it's just so crazy. I've never done like a brown. I've never painted a brown barn before. See how that came off there, and I didn't want it to, like I pressed that, it went into my center. It's going to be totally fine because I'm going to put my black in through there. So I'm not going to worry about it. And that's what I meant about in class, like people worrying about their slats being perfect the whole time. And because they don't need to be, you know, it's so easy to like, kind of like, this was my word last week, just slap it in, slap it on. And you always want to leave, like, say this is the top of the barn, you need to leave a little bit of a shadow, like right underneath. I'll pull this down so you can see it a little better. Because I know I have a hard time with my perspective, like looking at things from the side. I'll just kind of hold my hand this way. Generally, I'd be using the wide part, but it's hard to cock it that way. But this, you're not using any water, all right? I want it to be brighter towards the middle, not at the very top and not at the very bottom, okay? So then I'm going to go this next one. And depending on how you want this to look, like if you want it to look like it is new, it's going to be pretty solid. If you want it to look like it's old, you're going to be adding, you know, some shadows and some crevices in it. And you're not going to make it solid. You're going to more dry brush it, okay? But don't use so much orange that it is orange. Use orange just to brighten up the red just a little bit. And you have to go through this a few times, okay? Sometimes you can use like the skinny part of your brush. Doesn't always have to be the wide. Okay, we're getting there. We're starting to layer it up. Yep, just a 1/2 inch flat. Thanks, Linz. It was the one you posted from South Dakota. I have to go back and look through again. I have a whole disc from someone that went to see the Northern Lights that would love to see pictures painted from it. And so I should pull that out because I have to tell you, I looked at it, and it's probably, gosh, from last year. And They're just stunning. I'm always amazed by that. Like amazed. So this takes some time, guys, of building this up. Barns look so amazing with snow on them too. I know we're all over snow. We're done. I just hope we're done with a lot of rain too. My dad was just saying the other day about how like we're in Pennsylvania and for a few years now, we go right from spring. We go right from winter to spring. Like there's no middle of the ground weather like we have this week. It has been going from like, ends up going from 40 to 80 and we missed the whole, springtime. It seems to be happening. Okay, so I'm going to put a little bit of white in this pile. I actually had to put the air on at the studio one day last week. I was shocked. It's a little bright for me, so I'm going to pull a little bit more red. Wipe off my brush, get a little bit more red. It's just taking too long to build up, so I'm grabbing a bit of white. Remember to get that really close. Even if you cover that, that line just a little bit, you can always go back and add to it. I'm going to show you how to make that crisscross with the barn also. Okay, let me look back at the comments real quick. Hey Trish, how are you? How are you doing today? How was your Easter? And Trish, thank you so much for your kind words. Really meant a lot to me. I really appreciate it. Okay. See how much that little bit of white like brightened this up so much. But you don't want to lose like all of your other shades in there. So I'm kind of like skipping around, starting and stopping at different places. Okay. Lifting off, leaving that shadow down towards the bottom and with where the overhang is, okay? And then lastly, I'm going to take a tiny bit more white and I'm going to lightly touch it through here, not a lot. I'm just going to lightly, I'm actually going to touch that with my finger because I feel like it's a little too bright. We'll put our black slats back in afterwards. And with that, guys, you have to literally just touch your script liner through there because you don't want to make big, thick openings in between. So that's going to be important also, okay? But this little bit of white makes a big difference on your barns. I actually feel like it's been a little while since we've done a barn, probably since that fall barn that I was just showing you. Maybe we can do one, like I was just thinking, the reason why I put the browns on my plate is I was thinking that I'm really into, like, I like the pastels and stuff right now. So it's just a thought to do one like with some tans and browns and things like that. So then you want to get your script liner. So mine's a 1/2 inch for those of you that are new. I love these. They're nice and thin. They flatten down really well. Okay. So I'm going to take, oops, I want black, not white. I'm going to take a little bit of my black and you're going to water it down 2 to 3 times and then roll it to a point, okay? A lot of times, like I'll even touch that on my hand as you see. Oh, hey Pam, I'm so glad you're on, yay. How was your Easter? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this very lightly through here just to separate them. But do you see how like there's very, very little. Oh, and guys too, for those of you, I saw more of you signed up for the member text, so that's great. If you text the word member to 724-995-0149, I'll text you like right before I go on, like 10 minutes before, so you know. I know I always love those alerts. Like for me, I'm a person that's always saying, Siri, send an alert for. I do that all the time. So see how this is very, very faint. like not much paint at all. All right. And then you could also make like some cracks and creases if you wanted to, you know, go as far to do that very, very lightly through here. If you wanted to make this look weathered, then I would do that. You know, you could just like very lightly touch it, and it's like barely touching it. Remember, you'd have like a roof over here, so the top of that looks, you know, will look like it's shadowed there. But yeah, you can, there's so much you can do with the red barns. Like I said, if you're painting on a white canvas, that's no problem at all. But I would black out your barn ahead of time just so you can build up the darkness. Or you can paint like red with black in it, like a crimson. So then what I would do, wash my brush, is, this is fairly easy too. So, see, I left some paint on here. I'll find another soft 1/2 inch. There we go. So I'm going to just dry brush or scuff, like you can use gray or steel blue or something, like in here on the door, like a tiny bit of paint. So there's like some little bit of color here, and then we'll paint those X's white because we don't want it, when something's black, it's not actually just black. You have like grays or whites, you know, as highlights on there, okay? So we would scuff that. And then what I would do is I would take my white and I'd put in like this X. So you would do this like if you have trim around a window or something like that. So I would kind of like dry brush it in initially, okay? And then I'd make like a nice edge around it. Maybe a little bit more. Okay, and I'm just using my too long brush, okay? So it's, which is really the size of my 6 with Creative Inspiration. So it just flattens down more and it's a little longer. And I like it for that reason. Like you can flatten it down almost like a script liner, and it's one of those Princeton brushes. So this one would be coming behind here. Okay, and you're gonna lift off when you're coming to the other X, like part of the X, so it fades there, and we'll make the rest of it a little bit brighter. But I prefer to dry brush this and build this up also. Of course, you don't have to do a door like this. They are, you just Google them. There's so many of them. I got a little bright right there. There's so many different ways. Or if you have a, we find that a lot of times when we do a barn painting in the studio, that so many people have barns and they make them like them. I've even like drawn them for people to look like they'll bring a picture of their barn, and then I'll sketch that in, and we teach them. This is a little wonky. The X is bad. I just leaned back and looked at that. You can correct that very easily. I'm going to show you how to do that right now. But anyway, we had this one gentleman where, oh my gosh, his barn looks so cool. He made it just like his. You just take a little bit of black, guys, and cut into this and straighten it up. My chalk lines are poor. Okay, and so since this is behind this, I put a little behind here also. Straighten that up. I'm gonna take this out a little further. It's a little wonky. I'd make sure my drawing was better before I started painting it. Just getting a little bit of black, cutting it off. And I'm going to show you how to just frame this in a little bit better, okay? So you would want to grab your script liner, water it down, and a little bit better. Just simple things, guys, to add dimension to your painting, okay? So a couple of things. So I would go right in here. Good angle here. Hold on one second. I would go like right on this edge here. It's gonna slip out from under me. And I would like make a decent line, you know, like highlighting like an edge. And then maybe touch this through the center a little bit. But I still think you need like a decent, like crisp edge around there, a little bit of water. Okay. Even if you're keeping it rustic looking and it's faded, I think you have to like firm up some of your lines. Okay. And then also you would have to put in, like, say this is two doors like joined together, you would have to put in a little bit of a line here. I would even suggest like putting a little bit of a black shadow next to that line, like where the doors would meet. So I would probably go that far. And then you're going to catch like a little bit of light, like in a couple other areas too, right? But I would even like put in some darkness, like maybe right next to that a little bit, maybe next to, you know, the sides of the doors a little bit. Just create a little bit of depth. And then whatever type of ground you have in here, like if you look at, let me go to this, you look at that, we have a little bit of grass in front of there. And I believe we have a little, so I put a little bit of snow. I have to, yeah, a tiny bit of snow in front of there. This one here has like some shrubbery. So what I did was like I stamped in a little bit of the black with my sea sponge, and then I put some shrubs in front of it, just some different ideas. This one here just goes right down to the ground, and then some snow. This one here were like hay bales and pots and things like that in front of it as well. But see, this other painting right here, in this area, it's red. So I have some of them like that, that's red, and then it goes to white. So it just depends on like what you would prefer, okay? I just want to show you a few different options. Love the barn picture. It's in the membership. It is in the membership. Yep. So all of those except for the one with, so I had to ask Lindsay, the one on wood, this one is not in. I can film it. I made that last year. So I definitely can film it if you guys want it. Most barns are not completely level. That's right. They're not. Oh, is my hair in the way? I'm so sorry. Pam, I'm so glad you enjoyed it with family. I'm sorry, Susan. I should have Lindsay on speaker. What are you on speaker, right? So these windows too, a lot of times you can just do this. So you can scuff in the center. So you can take a little, you're still blue, or you can take white or both. Just get a little bit of a highlight in the center. But you can do all different things with the windows. So I'm going to go over here. And I'm just going to lightly touch in here, okay? Then the next thing I'm going to do, we do them all differently, okay? Next thing, you know what I love to do too on barns, on roofs, is like to have the snow hanging over. That's always nice also. So I'm going to get a little bit of white. And what you can do is, yeah, I have my hair down today, which is unusual anymore, unless it's like out everywhere. Please film it. I love that one. My mom's a huge fan of red barns. You got it, Donna. You got it, Tracy. Definitely, Kara. I'll do it for you guys. Thanks, Linda. Okay, so what you do is you go like right inside the black line. Don't lose your black line, okay? And so you can make like a little window frame like this if you wanted to, or you can do X's, or you can just keep them black. But we have a couple where we're just, you know, we put a little bit of a frame in this way as well. Okay, there's all different things that you can do. And Linda's right, like they're generally like barns are wonky. So you don't have to worry too much, you know. They come out beautifully in class, like all the barns. But I would take a moment to and get your flat brush out and like build this up a little bit more. Like you can streak it just a little. Just since I have white on my brush in my hand, I'm just touching this up, making some lines here. Okay. So any questions so far? And I think, you know, I've never made a brown one, but we're going to do it. Let me wash my brush. You're welcome, Trace. 12:45. Listen, time flies with you guys. I mean, like flies. It always goes by like so fast. We need more time, right? So let's just do a little piece. I should have like uploaded a picture on the switcher here so you can see like a tan or brown barn, because I glanced at literally at 12 o'clock. Like I was like, let me pull one up. And there were like, I just put in wooden barns. And so there's some that have like burnt sienna and have orange in them. Some just have the browns and the tans. I just put the brown and the tan on my plate. And but they're beautiful also. So I would like to do one, I think springtime, maybe with a field of flowers or something like that, a landscape. I think would be nice. So I'm gonna do brown, and then I think I'll highlight with the cream and the white. This is the sand color, Lucas sand color. So I'm just gonna start with the darkest shade. You know, we're gonna go up and down. And a lot of times, like, I'll just completely dry brush this whole thing, but it'll take too long for you guys like to do multiple. But dry brushing it, you can really build up the colors. I mean, I'm not using a lot of paint when I'm doing it right now, but it's a Van Dyke brown, a little bit of sand or beige, and even just adding white into the Van Dyke brown is totally fine. But don't you think like a barn like this would be really pretty? Or we used to, our pool fence used to be painted like that orangey color. That also would be very cool. So then I'm going to get more of the, sand. Oh, and I wanted to tell you guys, Lindsay Lou is going to be doing more of the fun stuff. She, you know, we're not going to keep her behind. She wants more time with her family too, which I don't blame her whatsoever. So she's going to be doing more of the fun stuff with us, like lives and things like that. We have someone out of Pittsburgh that's handling like the website and stuff. And so I wanted to let you know that Lindsay's on. Well, she was on. Let's see if she's still on. But she's still with us, so just to let you know, she's still here. But she's going to, so you won't see her like if you have any issues for technical difficulties, although we can rope Lindsay into maybe doing still doing her techie lives. But I wanted to let you know that too, in case you're seeing Kaylee's name for responses for technical stuff. But life got really busy with the membership. And good morning, Connie Zach. How are you? If she doesn't get to this, the doors are open on the fall barn painting tutorial to reference. Yes, they are. Do you see this? So so I have one big rectangle in the middle for the fall barn tutorial, and then a door open on each side. Good point, Lindsay Lou. Wheat or cornfields? You know what, Linda? After I made the Amazing Grace, like the wheat and stuff, I would love to do that. I had fun with that. So I'm going to go straight up and down. Okay, just don't lose like all your darkness. But there's no real technical term for this except for like scuffing. And every time you're scuffing it, you're lifting off, okay? Every single time. I just quickly go through knowing that I can still put my black back through in between. Just the one thing that I do walk through the classes constantly saying with barns is close those holes up. You know what I mean? Like these lines being too big, that definitely happens. But don't you think that this would be great, like muted colors too for a barn? Like we need to do something new like that. I think it would be really pretty. Just in my head today, so I'll add that to my list. And wait until you see what April wants me to create. She gave me a couple ideas for something. I think you're gonna love it too. So I have another question for you guys. I was gonna put in a poll. Do you like getting all your tutorials on the first of the month, or would you like them as we upload them and get them all ready throughout the month? Would you like them as they're ready, or do you like getting them all at once and then planning out your month? What's your thoughts on that? Because I'm really looking at everything like from the polls and trying to make things the best they can be for everybody in the membership. So if that, like, I'm curious your thoughts, like, for that. Let me know. That is what I remember growing up on the farm, that and soybeans. Ah, I love that. How's the kids, Connie? Everybody's back in school? Me as well. My son went back to school today. So I'm just going to get a little bit of white. It's a little too much. Little bit. My hair is going in there again, right, Susan? You can tell me. I just felt it. I'm trying to lean back. The camera's right in front of my face. Okay. So then, you know, you can make your windows or doors or, you know, anything you need in there. But you can also always take your brown, pull it up from the bottom, get in your shadows with that. All right, like just scrub in a little bit of the brown. So what color barn would you like to see first? You want to see something different with the browns? If I put that on my list for this week. What's your thoughts on that? I know I asked you a million questions. You guys, let me know what you think about that with the tutorials. I'm just curious. We'll just see what's, you know, if that's more feasible too, like for uploading, but I just want to see, like, would you rather have them spaced out? Like get 1 or 2 a week, you know? So, oh, you're not even on there. You can't even see what I was doing. Oh my gosh. I didn't even know that. Can you switch back to live instead of a brick barn, please? Susan, yeah. So what I was doing is taking a little bit of black and putting it in here. I touched a little bit of white on there. Yeah, Lindsay, I just got your text. Take picture off. It was a little late. I was just painting away. I like fell into it. I'm so sorry. I wish you guys could like yell at me. Linda and I were on the phone. I don't know, the other day, and she was saying that too, how she talks, so like the tutorials. I'm like, well, I'm talking to you. So I wish that it could be interactive. It would be so cool. Okay, so again, it'd be something that I'm not making perfect. This would be my shadow from the overhang. So many different things that you can do. Does anyone have any questions? I'm so sorry. I think whatever's easier for you. Thanks, Tracy. And I'm really sorry about that, about the, geez Louise. But yeah, I would like to do another barn. And I know my mom would like that. She likes to get the barns. And do you guys prefer on canvas or on wood? We can do either or. Do you want to do canvas? Totally up to you. Let me see. I got both sitting here. I like it the first of the month. It's fun to see. Okay. It is a nice surprise, like, to do that. I do think that's good. If I don't let all the cats out of the bag, you know, get them when they are filmed. So it goes both ways. So, and Tracy, whatever's easier. Okay. So if you're watching the replay later, let us know so we can get more opinions on that too. A barn and a truck. You know I love a barn and a truck. Canvas. So we went on to canvas. Okay. I know not everybody has wood, and sometimes it's hard to find the wood. So we'll do it on canvas. It comes out just as beautifully on canvas. But I can see like a big, like we'll do a landscape, I think, and do something really springy. Let me see. Take a picture. It's the same one. But we'll do something springy. And if you guys have any ideas, let me know, because I'm going to be painting. And then this summer too, I'm going to get a lot of our fall stuff done as well. So you guys can think ahead and give me ideas too. I saw my big list I keep adding to on the wall with a patriotic barn quilt. You know, I'm going to write that down because every year I think about that. And I haven't done it. So I think that's great. It does take a while, Susan. You're right. I love that idea, Lori. A barn with flowers in front. Okay. That we could probably do in the same painting. But I love that idea. And then Lourdes, if I'm saying that right, and I've always wanted to ask you that too. I don't know if you're on here, but later, if you are, I do have on my list to paint the patriotic bear. You know the bear we did for St. Patrick's Day? She wanted us to do patriotic in honor of her son, and actually mocked it up in Canva, and I love that. So I have that on my list too, and so we can get that out, before Memorial Day next month too. Okay, so but if you guys need anything, let me know. And I'm going to start scheduling a few times to go through like techniques that are in the kits again. I know I didn't get to do that for 3 weeks. We were trying to get everything like in order and settled and things like that, and get some more processes in place. And so a barn, okay. And so I'm gonna go back to that maybe at least once a week, if not 2, and that'll show more techniques too. So we'll let you know. Don't forget to text the word member to 724-995-0149. I'm gonna put it in here so you guys know, because we have a lot of you on here, but we don't have all of you. So I'm gonna put text the word member. And then that way, you guys all know when we're going live. That's all. Okay. Well, thank you. Some cute farm animals with the barn. I was thinking about that too. So, Gretchen, is because I still owe you guys a couple. And I did tell one of the girls in the studio that I would do a donkey. So I don't know if you guys want to see a donkey. It'd be cute. Poppies and forget-me-nots for son who lost his life. Oh, I'm so sorry, Lori. And we could do that. Poppies. I'm so sorry for your loss. I don't know what forget-me-nots look like, so I'm going to look those up, okay? I have notes for everything. But thank you for letting me know. And if you guys think of anything else, let me know, okay? I hope you guys enjoy this beautiful day. And Dana, I hope it stops raining where you are. And yes for the donkey. Okay. Awesome. All right, well, thank you guys. Thanks for being on with me. A basket of pansies. Do you have the basket of pansies, Nancy, that we already have? Barn picture with the tree swing. We have that too. Basket of pansies we have, and we have a barn picture with the tree swing too. The sunset one, this one right here. Did you see this one? Or did you want just a barn without the truck and the silo with the swing? Something a little, more simple. Your mom's favorite. Oh, you have a great day too, Patsy. Thanks for jumping on. So we do have that, and we do have a pansy, a basket of pansies. It says welcome at the bottom, but you don't have to do that. But I can add it to my list to look at doing another one. I love doing baskets too. Mallard duck on a pond. You're not the only one. I have 2 painters in the studio ask me for that all the time, and my dad would love that. Okay. Thank you. I love all this. So inspiring. Thank you so much. And I hope you enjoy your day. And then I'll see you very soon, okay? And thanks again for jumping on with me. I appreciate it. Talk to you later. Bye.